morning, my friends. So let's talk about value systems, compasses, and impulse. Because most of the time in codependency, we're in reaction to things. Because codependency is a reactive system. It reacts to what's going on. And it's designed that way because it needs to adapt to environments. So it's adaptive rather than proactive. And this leads us to being very reactive to people, places, and things. So if we're getting love bombed, we're getting a lot of attention, we're getting a lot of affirmation from an individual, we're going to react to that from impulse. And that's usually where we end up following feelings and intensity and chemistry into relationships rather than slowing down and going, hey, I don't even know this person. I need to evaluate this long term. And secondly, I don't even know me. I don't know my values. I don't know my principles. I don't know my own internal compass. I don't know what I'm actually sensing here. And this is why we get tied up in relationships and with jobs and work and businesses that don't align with us, that don't work for us, because we're reacting and following impulse rather than following strict, clear, defined principles for ourselves and then internal guidance in ourselves. So what's a principle? Integrity, accountability, play, clarity, consistency. They can be a lot of different things, but they're factors in our lives that help us create structure and give us definition and understanding on how to respond to things. So if a person doesn't have integrity, they're not consistent, they're not reliable, and then they don't get to be in my world. That kind of thing. So they are the filters we implement in our lives to bring people, places, and things either closer to us or farther away from us as we navigate our reality, rather than responding from impulse and the way we feel about them. Instead, it's more like, I like them, but here's a red flag, here's a thing that doesn't align, here's a thing that does, and then making decisions based on how those factors line up against our long-term values and intentions. We have to slow down and learn how to listen to ourselves. I'm going to talk about that in our next video to make this happen. Because values aren't just an impulse. They're something that actually is very meaningful to us. They're derived from within us. When we follow them, we're going to find more satisfaction, peace, surprise, and success in our world rather than the pain we've been living with. So watch out for my next video because we're going to go a little deeper in those values.